All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's the Most High in the name of His Son. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect of Israel. Now, I want to bring out a few precepts today that goes into the man of the Lord, the guys you see out in the on the highways and byways preaching the words of the Lord. Because in the times we live in, you didn't always have guys out doing that. And that's real telling of the times that we in. But because before every major event and before everything that the Lord did, He sent out His prophets before it happened. So I just want to go into a couple precepts, a couple scriptures that go into that point. Because that's why the men of the Lord are out on the corners preaching the word now. Because we're preaching about the downfall of this society, this kingdom, this life as we know it. We are prophesying about it before it comes. Because that's how it always works. The Lord makes a decree, says He's going to do something, then He sends out His prophets, then He does it. So we're in the first stages of that right now. Pretty soon the destruction will be coming. So I just want to go into a couple of scriptures to just go into that about the prophets coming out before the destruction. And I'm going to start with Noah. I'm going to start with Genesis 6:12. And the Most High looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And the Most High said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood, room shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without with pitch. So the Most High came to Noah before the great flood and told him about the destruction that was coming. Because Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord, and he knew that Noah was a just man. So that's one sign, one example right there of the Most High coming to the prophets, because Noah was a prophet. Noah spoke about the destruction of the world when he was building the ark. But no one would take heed to Noah. So that's the first example we have of the Most High coming and revealing what's going to happen unto one of His prophets before it actually happened. So we're going to go to the next one. We're going to go to Exodus. We're going to go to Moses. Let me see where we want to start at. Let's see. Let's start. Let me see. Okay, we'll start right here. Exodus 3:2. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, while the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he had turned aside to see, the Most High called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the power of thy father, the power of Abraham, and the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon the Most High. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land into a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come up unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the the children of Israel out of Egypt. Now that's the second example. The Lord saw the affliction of his people in Egypt, which where we at now, this is spiritually Egypt. And he saw their affliction and he saw their pain, so he decided to take down Egypt. But he decided to send Moses to deliver his people out of there. So he didn't just up and we had a great deliverance out of Egypt. No, he sent his prophet first, his prophets, him and Aaron. He sent his prophets to go speak what was coming and to get the people ready. And then he came and he brought down the plagues upon Egypt. But it's still a certain process that goes along with it. He comes to one of his servants, he sends them out, and then he goes into action with his plan. So we're going to jump into another example. We're going to go to the book of Jonah. Let me see. Well, see where we're going to start at. Okay, at Jonah 3:1. And the word of the Lord came unto Jonah the second time, saying, Arise, go unto Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. So Jonah arose and went unto Nineveh according to the word of the Lord. Now Nineveh was an exceeding great city, a 3 days journey. And Jonah began to enter into the city a day's journey, and he cried and said, Yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown. So before the destruction of the place in Nineveh, he sent Jonah. Jonah didn't want to do it, but he sent Jonah, his prophet, to go prophesy to the people. And in this instance, the Lord didn't even destroy the place because the people believed the word of the Lord and they repented. And they turned from their wicked ways, so the Lord didn't destroy them. He spared them. That's another reason he sends out his prophet. The Most High is about balance. He is a fair man. So before he just put a foot in your ass, he going to send out his prophets to speak first. And this is the perfect example of that. The people heard the words of the Lord and they knew they were going to get destroyed. They turned from their wicked ways and they repented, and the Most High spared them. Now that's not going to happen in this place, but that's what happened before. But the whole reason for me bringing it out is just the simple fact to let you know that before every major event, the Most High sent out his prophets. So when you see the men of the Lord out here on the highways and the byways preaching the destruction of America, just know that right around the corner is when the action comes in. We're out now speaking it, trying to bring in all our people into let this devil know that he's going down, and pretty soon the Most High is going to spring into action and he's going to take this devil down. So we're not out there just to be out there. And I'm going to bring out this. This is Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. The lion have roared, who will not fear? The Lord power have spoken, who can but prophesy? So that's another sign to let you know. He revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. So if you see men out and these men are prophets and they're telling you what's going to happen, a wise thing to do would be to listen to these men. Because they're the mouthpiece of the Most High. A prophet of the Lord is the mouthpiece of the Most High. He comes out and speaks the words that the Most High put in them to speak. And we're out giving a warning. We're blowing a trumpet. We're blowing the trumpet to the people. And whether you know it or not, once that trumpet is blown, the destruction is coming no matter what. But I just wanted to bring out examples of how the prophets went out and prophesied before every major event. You even had Yahweh Shai before 70 AD. When he set up his ministry and went out and spoke. That was all prophesying before the events of 70 AD took place. So next time you see the men of the Lord out speaking, you should think twice about that. You should take a second look, because next action after that will be the destruction of this place called America. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.